All right, Knights of Apollo, what is up, guys? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to the battlefield. We are back playing NTW3, the mod for Total War Napoleon. We've got quite the matchup. This is a 4v4. On one side, we have a coalition of forces that includes 2 Austrian armies, 1 Russian army, and 1 British army, and they will be taking on 4 French players. This is going to be quite the show, guys. The ending is extremely close, and the battle is decided with a very flashy and fun tactic, which you'll see at the end of the battle. I don't want to say too much, so just sit back, relax, get some snacks and drinks, and enjoy the show. And so the first shots were heard on the battlefield. So we're going to start right here, guys. This would be the left or the right flank of the allies, of the coalition. So we do have a little meetup here between the Austrians and the French. The Austrians were able to push forward a horse artillery, and they're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. They are opening fire into some French infantry that is advancing forward. And as they get closer, you can see more and more of their troops. So we're definitely going to have a big clash. And first shots from the rifle has just opened fire. So we've got the lights opening fire. And I think they're taking on some lights of the Austrian army as well. So this is pretty cool. Things are starting to get a little bit spicy here on the left flank. Then if we head down over more towards the center, there's some French cav that come out of the fog of war. So I don't think we're gonna see any big cav engagement here. But you can see that they were kind of squaring off there a little bit. We might see some interesting play between the 2 different armies, the 2 different sides in the center pretty soon. Russia has continued to push in the center and has taken a secure little town that's like center left of the map. And then one thing I wanted to show you guys is way over here. This is just way left, extreme left. There was a cav engagement between Austria, the other Austrian army, and a French scout cav. The Austrians won that engagement. It was so bizarre. It was so out of just left field, literally, that I didn't get it on camera because it was just like, what the heck? Like, what is it? Yeah, so they were just scouting, and it led to a little skirmish there. So pretty interesting stuff. So back over to the right flank, the Austrians taking on the French. Big artillery hits coming in. We've got a nasty matchup here, a nasty setup, I should say, where both forces are they're moving up their artillery to a dangerously close position. They're going to rely on some heavy hitting artillery shots. The infantry is starting to open fire. Unfortunately, Austria making a little bit of a mistake here. They send up their cav, but they're going to get popped. They're going to get shot by the infantry. So I don't know if he did that on purpose. I think he was just busy looking elsewhere, because there is a lot unraveling on this right flank from the coalition perspective. Yeah, we got more French forces over here. It looks like these guys look like Swiss or something. It's too bad I can't see the name. I know it's like it's a feature, not a bug. I mean, literally, it's so you don't know what type of unit you're facing. You kind of have to learn what they are, through experience. Because some units can form square and some can't, and you kind of have to have that knowledge when you're playing against enemies. I just love this unit, this combination of like brown and red coats. It just looks awesome. But yeah, the infantry is starting to open fire. Austria is full on engaged here. And I'm curious to see, I mean, the French have a lot of infantry here. They've just set up the artillery. So we'll see if, oh yeah, there it goes. Oh yeah. And it's going for the infantry. Look at this poor guy. He got knocked down. He's getting back up. His buddy helped him up. So yeah, things are definitely getting spicy over here. Meanwhile, in the center left with the Russians, we are getting a little taste of French armies over here as they appear out of the fog of war. More scouting cav, just kind of seeing the situation. We do have some lights in the road leading towards this town, this center left town. I'll probably just refer to this as the center of the fight. So the French using their lights here, and they're going to open fire on the Russians. So the Russians are going to actually fall back. I think what he wants them to do is to commit into the town. I feel like that plays into the Russian advantage if the French attack. So yeah, still nothing too crazy over here. Most of the action is on the other side. So here's a nice bird's eye view of this situation. And I don't know, it feels almost as if, sorry, words are hard today, Austria is taking on two French armies, and I think that's the case. You can see that he's starting to get a little overwhelmed. This just looks so epic, these battles. A little overwhelmed, you know, for the position. Like, there's a lot of French closing in on him is what I'm trying to say. And we do have the British forces moving up with some reinforcements, and you can kind of tell that they're definitely trying to get in there, trying to help their ally, because I don't think the Austrians want to lose this position. But actually, they are falling back a little bit. I think they're not going to fall back a ton. I think they're just going to fall back a tad bit so the British can get into position and start laying down some supporting fire. And there we go, just like that. We got the 85th Bucks Volunteers. Very cool. The Bucks. The mighty Bucks. So they're opening fire, and that's going to keep the French advanced. It's probably going to put them to a halt, and the French are probably going to get a little... you know, a little comfortable here. They're going to hold their ground and probably start firing back against the British forces that are starting to amass over in this area. So yeah, things are crazy over here. It's pretty fierce, but nothing too crazy. You can see that both sides are kind of dipping their toes in the water, just seeing what you know may be possible in terms of strategy. They're even wrapping up this artillery. They're limbering it up, and they're gonna move it back and probably establish a new position. But guys, things are getting interesting in the center. The Russians opening fire on this French army that is actually, I mean, this is kind of a bad positioning for this French army against that Russian artillery, because if they get a good hit there, it could slice through this regiment, multiple regiments really. So he needs to quickly put them in a good place. I think what he's going to do is shift his troops over towards the center. He might begin an assault on this center town against the Russians, which will be quite interesting. And you can see there's already some gunfights going on between the lights and the Russian infantry, which honestly, I mean, I don't really know who's in a better situation here. Oh, this is cool. Look at this stone wall that they're using. This is awesome. This looks awesome. That's very cool. But yeah, that's going to help. I don't know if this actually gives them cover, if it actually like registers as a stone wall, but it looks awesome. And I don't know, you know, whenever, oh yeah, this definitely looks like it's going in favor of the Russians. They are doing a good job of pinning down these lights, and the artillery is shelling this position as well. So you can see that this is a rough fight for the French army. Well, a crazy turn of events over on this side of the battle, guys. Austria and the British have decided to completely fall back from their initial position. I think the reason they are doing this is because, honestly, this side, this French, the two armies here, they're the spearhead of this attack, I believe. I think the French are going with an aggressive fight over on this side because in the center, the Russians and the other Austrian army have such a solid position that attacking this with full force would be disastrous. I mean, the terrain is better for them. The city plays into their favor. So you charging in, you know, in perspective of the French army, charging in would be very costly and probably not very beneficial. So it makes sense that this French army is pushing and attacking very aggressively. Hold on, we got a little bit of a cav charge here. Look at this. Austrian cav charging in, going after some French light troops who are unfortunately out of position. Guys, this happens all the time in this game. There's a lot of maneuvering in this game, or a lot of positioning, that creates opportunities like this one, where you'll have units out of position, units that are vulnerable, that you can quickly strike upon, and that's exactly what happened. So that was a nice little victory for the coalition there, but they're definitely setting up shop. kind of on the flank of the Russian defenses. Obviously, they can't fall back anymore because the flank of the Russians would be open, which would aid, obviously, this other French army. So they're probably going to make their stand right here. I really don't see them falling back anymore. And pretty soon we're going to get a full-on line battle because you can tell it's starting to crackle here, crackle and pop, because of the skirmishers who are now beginning to open fire. So things are going to get intense very quick here. Well, a few minutes have passed, and over in the center left, the Russians and the French are having they're kind of just flexing on each other. It's very much a display of strength over on this side, as both sides are bombarding each other with artillery. Obviously, neither side wants to fully commit to a fight here, so they're just gonna kind of poke at each other, maybe hit each other with lights. Oh, they even look at this mortar. It's like a mortar. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, it's like howitzer mortar, and they're really focusing their attention on this artillery. Now, if they do wipe out artillery here, that could be pretty huge, because that's a huge piece of the pie, so to speak, of the army. If you get rid of that, it's going to destroy the whole recipe. So I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm making weird analogies, but they're definitely having a big artillery battle, a little bit of lights, but nothing in terms of a big commitment. There is a little bit of a fight going on with the cav on the flanks, but again, it's not a huge commitment. It's just both sides poking each other and seeing what they can get away with. Well, here we go. Another turn of events here. Very interesting play by the French forces. I think they decided to now change where their efforts are going to be in this assault. They have now focused a lot of their attention more towards the center against the Russians, rather than continuously pushing against Austria and the British. I mean, just look at this force. It just looks so cool. This game is just so beautiful looking. Anyways, they have actually detached a battalion, whatever you want to call it, a group of regiments over towards the city. So now they have a lot more troops concentrated in this area, and they are starting to begin their assault on the town. So they have completely switched, flipped the script. They've changed their idea. They adapted, and they're going to go ahead and push up the infantry. And most likely, guys, we are going to get some bloody bayonet urban warfare in this little town in the center. It's going to get interesting. It's going to get spicy. And the cav play over here is still going on, guys, between the two forces. You can just tell this is like the calm before the storm. Things are about to get very violent, and pretty soon these armies are about to clash. All right, guys, more and more French forces have been pushed forward, and I think they're about to, open fire. They're going to open fire. The coalition has mirrored the movements of the French. They have moved a lot of reinforcements towards the Russian position to support them in defending this town. And, it's an important town. There's some houses here that's going to be worth some points. Now, remember, guys, just a reminder, major points here. This one over here, we're under the ground. We're underground. Okay, this one right here is worth 2 points. The one that they're fighting over is also worth 2 points. So it's right here, I believe. Yeah, which the Russians currently control. They're not going to want to give that up. So this is a major victory point that both sides are going to be fighting over. And yeah, look at this. The sides are opening fire, and guys, truly the battle has begun with this infantry starting to rip into each other. And I can imagine that the French are going to send up more reinforcements. It looks like they've got a lot of infantry in the streets here ready to move up as well. Ooh, I think they're going to fire in the street. They should be able to reach. Yeah, there they go. Let's watch this. No? Are they not going for it? I guess not. I thought they would be in range. Maybe they're saving. Maybe they've turned off fire at will. Maybe they're going to save their ammo for better shots. Here we go. The French are moving up this way. What is going on here? He's going with a bayonet charge. The French are going in with a bayonet charge. The flag leads the way. How long will this flag last up here? Oh, look at him go. He's dead. And there goes the standard for the regiment. And this regiment, they formed square because they got charged by some cav. I'm not sure what the French strategy is here. I don't know if this is gonna, I guess he's trying to disrupt their formation, possibly. Now we've got French cav charging in as well. Guys, it is getting oh, they're going for the artillery. They're threading the needle, going through the Russian infantry on a suicide mission to try to disrupt this artillery. I don't think it's gonna work out, and you can see all of the coalition cav is converging on this one area to prevent that from happening. And now the infantry is really going off, guys. I mean, it went from calm, it went from 2 to a 10 in terms of chaos in a matter of seconds. And now the infantry's opening fire. The French are clearly losing this engagement, so they're going to reform, regroup, and probably try to come up with a different strat, a different plan. Now over on this side, it looks like there is a push with infantry as well. And oh my gosh, the building has been destroyed. No, it's at 96%. It's at 96%. I forgot the rule where if you destroy the building, who gets the points? I don't really know. I forgot. So I'm sure someone can tell you in the comments. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's gone. The points are gone. Taken away. So yeah, they've destroyed the strategic building. That's hilarious. And now, oh yeah, both sides are about to go full commitment into this battle. There's a bayonet fight going on in the town as well. Highland Foot going against the, what do we got here? Oh, we don't know. Some infantry. There we go. So it actually broke the Highland Foot. Good on the French there. I did not expect that. I thought that was a win for the Highland Foot. Over on this side, it's still pretty calm. They're still kind of just, you know, shooting each other with artillery. Nothing too crazy. It does look like the French artillery is invisible right now, so that's nice. But they're still in it. They're still firing. They're still harassing this army. But yeah, everything. Oh my gosh, look at the massive cav engagement in the center. This would be the far right flank in the perspective of the coalition. And they are charging in some cav, and they're not backing down. Okay, they finally do once the infantry gets close. But yeah, that was an interesting engagement. That could have been pretty bad for Austria. I don't think he would have won that engagement, considering that the French infantry is so close to support. But yeah, look at this. Austria is now moving forward. No more stepping back. They're now stepping forward. I think they like what they see here. I think they feel pretty confident in bringing down the French. And so they're going to selectively here just like engage and pick their fight. And this is the fight that they've decided to pick. All right, no more running back. This is it. This is where they engage. We've got another French cav charge in the center going for artillery. They're really trying to get that Russian artillery. You can tell that they're very intimidated by it. It's a key piece to the defense if they can destroy the artillery. But yet again, I think it fails. I think it's that same cav that charged in earlier. So they're pretty depleted. They're tired. They didn't really get the job done there. So that didn't really lead to anything. But the French are really starting to take control of this town, guys. I mean, you can see multiple units here, and the Russians are kind of falling back. They're staying kind of in the backside of the town, and things are going to get pretty bloody here in close combat. You can see both sides. Look at these. Oh, look at these uniforms. That's a nice blue. But yeah, you can see that they're just opening fire on each other, close range, using the inner streets of the town to fight. It's going to be an interesting one. So to give you guys a interesting view on the battle, look at this fight from a bird's eye view. I mean, this has to be just like, it just looks so realistic. The amount of troops, the formation. I mean, obviously the battles were bigger, but it just looks, for, you know, considering it's a video game, it looks so good. I mean, look at the formations here. And there's really, in terms of positioning, it's pretty straightforward. It's one big line versus another big line. It's going to be tough to see. I think whoever wins this battle, it's going to be little charges, little small little tactics that's going to give them the edge. And you can see, you can feel the weight of this battle too is all right here. You know, obviously over here it's very scattered. There's light troops here and there, but in the center and to the right, yeah, this is a lot of troops stationed in one area, And there's going to be a lot of gunfire going off here. And so far, honestly, it looks pretty good for Austria because they do have the high ground. But we'll see what France does here. They've got a lot of infantry ready to go. They've got some artillery that are about to open fire on the infantry. Oh yeah, that looks pretty promising. Well, we're starting to see some interesting movement coming in from the Austrians on the far right. We see a lot of cav starting to kind of stretch out. They're stretching to the right. They're moving a lot of their troops over to the right. The French are kind of mirroring that movement. You can see that they're sending some troops over to the right. They're sending some cav over to the right. They've got some cav right here. So they're definitely, Austria's kind of like, they're possibly trying to make a move on the far flank of the French forces. So we'll possibly see how this plays out. But yeah, Austria's kind of falling back again. I think France is just looking really good right here. They've got a great position. They've got their artillery set up here perfectly, which is just, yeah, harassing the Austrian lines. And where's the Austrian artillery? It's set up right here, and they're just now limbering it up. So they got to hurry up and set this thing up so they can try to answer back against that French artillery. But yeah, the Austrians are just shifting to the right. Infantry, cav, everything shifting to the right. And I think they're trying to potentially find a weak spot in the French army, maybe something that they can take advantage of, or like sneak into the cracks and get some cav in there or something, and really hurt this French army. But yeah, this interesting movement of troops. Well, guys, while on the other side the French seem to be doing pretty well, in the center the French are definitely struggling. The fight does look like it's going in favor of the coalition. Sure, the French have a lot of forces in the city, but a lot of these line battles, especially this one here, is a losing battle. And I think the French realize that, and they're getting the heck out of there, moving fast, because they are losing to just the sheer amount of guns and line infantry they got here, just firing upon them. And the same thing can be said over on this side. You can see there's a lot of casualties over behind this wall, and the Russians, they're doing a good job of just winning. They're just winning over here. They're winning the engagement. So we might see the French kind of take a more passive approach in this town center area. But I think the fight most likely, in terms of the French perspective, is going to really heat up over here, because I think this is where they're doing the best in terms of the overall battle. And you can see, yeah, both sides are engaged in a very intense line battle right now, and the French, I believe, have the numbers over here, but I will say that Austria has some good positioning. They have a slight high ground that might give them a little bit of an edge. A little bit. Okay, hold on. Russia's making a move here in the center. Yeah, I think he's going for a bayonet charge. We've got units that are in speaking distance. They are moving in troops. Are they going to go for a bayonet charge? The French aren't having it. They are not having it. Oh, the French are repositioning and get a great hit on that Russian line. Nearly breaks them, but the British are going to come in and support. So the British have sent up some line. It's going full bayonet mode here, guys. That was a great play by the French player. He fell back like that and opened up the flank for the Russians to get hit on. And yeah, this is a disastrous play for the coalition. I love the aggressiveness, but it just did not work. The French seem to respond pretty effectively here. They kind of kited them a little bit. They fell back a little bit, opened up some opportunity. Let's see if the British can win here. I don't know. There's a lot of French converging now on the other side, and this the British charge completely disintegrates. It shatters. It's done. And that was a pretty good win right there for the French. Let's see if they can capitalize on that. They are moving up more troops, so maybe they'll start pushing even more aggressively. But where those troops fell, they're being replaced by some Austrian infantry. So I don't think it's going to be that easy. But yeah, that was definitely a failed bayonet charge by the coalition. And that was well played by the French forces. Well, guys, back over here on the right flank of the battle, they continue, look at this, they continue to stretch their lines to the point where the center is getting weak over here. There's not a lot of troops. It's kind of like when you stretch, like, I don't know, like Play-Doh or something. You know how the center gets thinner and thinner, but the sides are getting thick? It's kind of like that. It's like they're stretching so much, and there's a lot of troops concentrated in this area. Some weird positioning here by the French. They got to be careful here because they're going to get shot to pieces as they maneuver this close to the Austrian lines. But yeah, this is definitely turning into a very interesting battle. It almost feels like a 1v1 over here. And then meanwhile, over on the center, you can see that the French have reinforced this line, and they saw a little bit of a weakness in the coalition. Oh my god, that cannonball just nearly hit this unit. But you can see that they're definitely weaker here. I don't know if it's because some of the troops that they had here, they commit into that charge. I'm not really sure, but it looks better for the French over on this side where they were losing it. Now they're winning it, and these British forces are on the verge. Yep, there they go. They're on the verge of breaking. Oh, this one got its morale back. I don't know how that happened. It went from like red to green. Now they're back at red. But yeah, this looks really good. The French, I don't know. It kind of felt like that bayonet charge by the coalition was the turning point for the French forces as they fight for this town. And maybe it's just, it will be enough for them to get that win there, or to take over this town. So we'll see how this plays out. But back over this way, a continuous fight. Back over in this Austrian right side, a continuous fight. And Austria continues to push himself more further and further away from the center to the right. And they're trying to do something here. They're trying to potentially overwhelm the French. I'm not sure, but it's definitely an interesting maneuver. So guys, maybe this is working. The Austrian right flank here is kicking ass right now. It is just shredding the French infantry. We got some really good units here. Some grenadiers that are just giving it to the French right now. Absolutely delivering. 2-day delivery package here. Okay, this is getting weird. But yeah, they are crushing this French infantry, and you can tell the French are concerned because guess what? They're sending up more reinforcements towards that Austrian right. They're setting up a ton of infantry. They even got some lights in the mix. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 units of French, 4 regiments moving forward to put some pressure on this Austrian line. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because if he pushes forward here, his flank could be open to the British lines or even the British artillery. So I don't know. He might have to like move these units more towards this way, then send them up, because his side might be exposed to some good shots here. So we'll see how this turns out. But you can definitely tell that the French are concerned about this front. They're sending up more reinforcements. And I'm still waiting for this Austrian cav to make a move here. They continue to kind of shift around, but there has not been any major commitment with the cav. Here we go. Cav has been sent in the right side. Once again, Austria charging in, and they are going to go in and charge a breaking unit, and they're just going to charge into this large mass of infantry. The French are going to countercharge. It didn't really lead, well, it broke a couple of units. Disrupted their formation. Maybe that's what they were going for. But it didn't really lead to much there. The French tried to countercharge, but they didn't really need to. They kind of dealt with that cav pretty well. And now all this French reinforcements are moving up. Look at this. Oh, yeah. There's a ton of French units over here. A ton of French units. And look at these French. They're kind of angling themselves to where they're fighting the Austrians and the British over here. This is definitely going to be an extreme section of it's like an important section of this battle, because this is where most of the action is going on in terms of maneuvering and fighting. Things over here, things obviously are intense, but it's kind of in a smaller scale because of the nature of the layout here in this town. But I would say that it's been a pretty nasty stalemate over here. If anything, it kind of looks like the French are struggling once again, and they probably shouldn't push their luck. They should probably just keep on focusing most of their attention on this side, and that's exactly what they're doing. Oh yeah, they are moving a lot of troops over here. They feel like maybe, hey, Austria's kind of by themselves here. They can overwhelm this army and potentially wrap around and get on the flank of the British and kind of attack this town from the other side. Well, here it comes again, guys. The Austrians going for a cav charge right down the gut of this line battle. And they get a great charge into this French infantry. And then the French cav is going to countercharge. And wow, that was a huge play right there. Let's see what the Austrians can do in terms of damage. Oh my gosh, yeah, breaking multiple units of infantry. Unbelievable play. It was so like subtle too. It wasn't just like shocking. It's just like, okay, we go in now. We go in now, we fight. It's like that was crazy. Just tore a hole into the French lines. And now they're currently fighting in a bloody melee for the control of this this little building here. The French are in it to win it. They're trying. So chaos in the center of this formation. Absolute chaos. And we'll see how the French can recover from this. They're still in a thick cav battle. Lots of French cav have been sent in to support, but this Austrian cav unit does not want to break. They continue to fight on and give the French hell as they fight and try to win this side of the battle. So a beautiful engagement there from Austria, but is it going to be enough for him to win this engagement? It might be, because here comes another cav charge over on the far right side. Oh, geez, what happened to you guys? Must have got shot by this guy. He's like, oh, 2 for 1, yes. Yeah, oh, and then a counter charge by the French. A counter charge by the French. Unbelievable. And now they're going to keep pushing it. And then, yeah, Austria is going to counter that counter charge. A battle of counters. So they're definitely going to win that engagement. Well, no, hold on. The French are sending in even more cav. Guys, it's like both sides are just going all in right now. All in. Look at this. Bird's eye view. Once again, Austrian cav. A fresh unit of Austrian cav. Is this the same one that's been fighting over here? There's no way. This has to be a new one. It has to be. Unbelievable. Once again, they're breaking the French lines. And guys, France, they're trying to do something here. You can see that they're getting their cav in the mix. Let's see if he turns and goes for this artillery. The French need to recover. They need to do it quick. And now look at this. The British are even sending over some cav support to try to help out over on this side. This is such a important front for both teams. Look how cool this is. This cav running with the smoke in the background. But yeah, they're definitely going to try to maneuver and get over to this far right flank and support the fight. Let's see if he goes in. Let's see if he goes in. It's got the Queens, the Scarlet Lancers. That's so cool. There they go. Yeah, they're coming in to support. And just both sides are just throwing whatever they got over here, trying to win this engagement as efficiently as. Ooh, France is breaking some units. France is breaking some units, guys. Things are getting crazy. I think France is going to take this one. A great display of cav play from the Austrian side, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, and I feel like the French numbers on this side are definitely going to cause some issues. But hold on, guys. There's some stuff going on over on the other side as well. Check this out. Yeah, we've got some French cav play. So cav is really coming out to play over here, guys. Well, it looks like the French are going to lose here, but they are certainly being aggressive. I don't know what the plan was there, but they are sending up some infantry as well. Look at this. So yeah, finally we're going to see some infantry clash over on this front. Austria has a lot of infantry here. They might want to either send some over to support the center or like just engage, because I don't know if the French have a lot. I feel like the French have used up a lot of their units towards this front. And oh my god, what a mess it is over here. I mean, the French won, but by the skin of their teeth. Who knows? Maybe the Austrians can recover here. Got their artillery set up. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I think the French should be able to clean this up, but we'll see what the French do here next. They're most likely going to flank the British position. The last of the French reserves have been committed into the city battle. You can see, well, they got a couple reserves here, but pretty much all of the French army has been committed into this fight. And you can see that France is getting extremely aggressive. In fact, they're even doing a bayonet charge against the Russian lines right now. And they have a lot of troops just up close and personal against the coalition forces. And it's definitely gonna, here's these guys. They're gonna commit pretty soon here, because over on the other side, the French have won. They're going to reform. You can see they're just running down the last of the Austrian army on this side. So one, they're either going to regroup and push aggressively, like far, like over here, or they're going to regroup and kind of fall back into the trees, regroup with these troops, and you know, probably attack from here possibly. I think what they're worried about is all the artillery that's stationed up here. Definitely could rack up a lot of kills if you just charge it head on. So it's a little bit of a tricky situation for the French. We'll see what they do here pretty soon. But once again, we've got another bayonet charge by the French forces in the town center. A lot of French infantry still just kind of hanging around in here, fighting where they can, opening some shots, opening fire, you know, doing their thing. But yeah, you know, honestly, looking at this formation, there's a lot of French over here. So a lot of French came out of the woodwork over here. You know, it's tough because this is in the perspective of the coalition, so we can't really know for sure how many troops the French have, but they've got a lot, and they definitely could send these troops up to support the center. I don't really see the center. I don't know. It's hard to tell, because now the Austrians are shifting troops from their position here and moving them towards the center. You can see he's got 2 units over here helping out. Actually, 3 more, so 5 total units helping out over in the center. I just don't think the French have enough to take this center position. So I'm kind of surprised to see him so aggressive. Maybe he doesn't realize. Look at all the bayonet charging. Maybe he doesn't realize that Austria still has so many troops. But I just feel like this is a losing battle for the French, and they should slow down a little bit here, not be so aggressive, because they're kind of getting outfought and outgunned right now. We'll see. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert at the game, that is for sure. So we'll see what happens and how this plays out. But there's a lot of close combat here. A lot of close combat. Look at this. Close firing, close, you know, bayonet fighting. More units moving up. Look at how aggressive the coalition is getting. They're pushing up their troops as well at a crumbling French army in the center. So this French force over here probably needs to do something quick. And they're just kind of grouping up right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here to kind of answer back, because I really don't think this French army is going to be able to hold on much longer in this center. They've committed everything to this fight. Oh, wait, they are sending some units of infantry across this bridge. This is the this would be the far left flank in the perspective of the coalition. So we'll see what they kind of do here. But I don't think this is going to really lead to much. Yeah, it's quite clear right here, guys. The coalition is going all in. They are charging in their bayonets. They are getting extremely aggressive, and they want to clear out. They want to flush out the French forces from this town. And you can see that they are clearly sending everything they got, because as soon as they clean up these troops, they can then focus all of their attention to the French over here. And the French do appear to be shifting their forces. I think they still want to fight for this town. It just feels a little too late. Feels like they should have done this forever ago. And oh, here's some forces up here, though. Hold on. We got some French forces setting up really far on the flank, so they're going to try to do a little flanking maneuver. But I don't know if... I think they're just a little too late, because the French are crumbling over here. They still have a decent force behind this stone wall. They've got some cav. But the town has been taken. Here's a little bit of a cav charge. Nice little play by the French cav. The town has been taken, and this has been a bloody fight over here. Let's see what the cav can do to try to push back some of the coalition forces. Man, that fire crackle is loud. But yeah, they're not committing too much. They kind of went in, they did their thing, and now they're kind of falling back. And now we've got some coalition cav that are slowly moving into this maze of a town to try to support their infantry against the French cav. There they go. They do break that Russian unit, so nice little win there for the French. They're still not out yet. They haven't been completely flushed out of the town. And we'll see if they can regroup with the support of their allies, the other French armies attacking far on the flank. Yep, far, far, far. You can see it on the mini-map. Far on this, again, this would be the right flank of the coalition. They have taken a bit of the high ground, and they're pushing in. They're just like trying to create they're trying to break through this defense some way or another. The French, that is, using their small little regiments here to kind of put some pressure. And you can see it is working as the coalition is now maneuvering back some troops to kind of deal with that. So this is very much a threat for the coalition. And what that's going to do is that it's going to take troops away from the center, which might give the French an opportunity here to push with this sizable force. You can see he's got very healthy units here. I don't even think they've seen any action yet. So this is like the last of the guard. They might get sent forward. And there they go. They're moving forward as we speak. To the French. Oh, and they're opening fire over here? No, not yet. But the French are definitely going to engage. There's some healthy troops. Same thing on the Austrian side. Very healthy troops. They seem like they haven't seen a ton of action. So we're going to see the kind of... This is it. Like, this is the final stage of this battle. Both sides got a considerable amount of troops. I will say it kind of feels like the coalition has the edge here, but we'll see what the French can do. The French are definitely causing some issues in the back of this line. They are using a lot of their troops to break a lot of the coalition troops, but how long can they do this? And, well, I don't know. It seems to be working pretty dang well. We might have to see some of these Austrian troops kind of fall back and deal with this, because right now the coalition just does not have enough to deal with the flank. And the Cav's a problem, but the French have Cav. So we'll see how this plays out. Another charge by the French in the center. So they charge in some bayonets. They're going after the Austrian infantry holding the center. Once again, the French are getting extremely aggressive. They're trying to take back this town. And it might work. It might happen here, at least for a little bit. They do have to worry about this Austrian line here. This is it. Like, France is going for like an aggressive strike on multiple fronts. They're doing it through the town. They're doing it through the flank here. And it looks like it's working, guys. It really does. I mean, over here, I could definitely see the French winning this. There we go, some Cav charging in. Look at all the British breaking. But yeah, Cav going in. French infantry going in. And we'll see what the Cav does here. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is huge. If this French Cav... Oh, the French Cav just won. That's going to open this up. And there we go. The Austrian lines are coming over to support. This is definitely a problem for the coalition. Oh, my gosh. And look at this massive charge. Massive charge. French Cav. It looks like Empress Dragoons. Such a cool unit. Charging in with the infantry. They're going all in, guys. All in. Is it going to be enough? It certainly looks like it. They are breaking a lot of the Austrian troops here. Is this going to be it, guys? Is this going to be it for their forces? We'll find out. There's still a decent chunk of troops here. And look at the French here. They've got these two units just kind of keeping them busy, I guess. You know, just kind of poking at them. They're not going to win. They know that. But I guess they're just keeping the Austrians honest over on this side, making them forcing them to have troops over here. But yeah, massive break in the center. That was huge. Now we got French cav just charging in everywhere. The French still have a lot of cav. And now we've got the coalition trying to bounce back over here and reclaim this area, but it just doesn't look like it's happening. We got some British square formations, more French cav charging through weak spots, and it looks like this actually worked out for the French. It looks like they hit hard. They just went in with their troops, and they split the coalition army in half, and now they're going to be able to surround the coalition troops. Now we do have some Austrian cav that are trying to, like regroup. They're like, don't run, regroup. He's trying to get some charges in and potentially break some French forces and turn the tide of this side of the battle, which it kind of looks like it was fairly effective. The French are kind of getting weak here in terms of infantry, but they're definitely winning over here. Oh my gosh. They are for sure winning over there. And now the French are kind of getting aggressive over on this side. He's got 2 units over here. It's like, send these guys up too. Why not? At this point, the entire French army needs to go all in. I think he's got him in a spot where he likes him. Well, hold on. The French cav might lose here. That might be a problem for the French because... Oh no, Allied General Richard the Lionheart. Oh no. French Richard. So, yeah, that's Richard. That's the player name, and he's on the coalition. So the coalition loses one of their generals near the end of the battle. Tragic for him. I think pretty soon we're going to see more and more generals die as both sides get desperate. And now Austria is moving what's left of their army over to that other side. This is the last desperate hope for the coalition. Look at this battlefield right now. Let's get a bird's eye view of this. Look at this. You can see the French have spearheaded the center. They've cut off the coalition. They've surrounded them. They wiped them out with a very beautiful just push, cav charge, infantry charge right in the center. That was beautiful. And now it's left to the Austrians to try to put up some sort of a fight here. There are some Russian troops left. They're going for a desperate bayonet charge. But I don't think it's going to lead to much. As you can tell, the Russians are already breaking before even getting into close combat. But they do break the French here, so there are small victories for the Russian. That's good for them. Good for them. This battle is not over, guys. Do not assume that this is going to be an easy French victory here on out. There is still a big chunk of Austrian troops, and if they play this correctly, it's such a close battle. If they play this correctly, you never know. They might cause a chain rout in the French army. You just don't know. I mean, look how tiny these regiments are. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, what can they do? I mean, they could do a little bit, but it's not, Oh, what are the French doing here? They're like running away, but they're showing their backs to the enemy. They're definitely going to take some losses there. Look at the officer. Like, I don't know what to do. And now the rest of this flanking French force is starting to group up and push over on the other. So yeah, this is kind of like the last stand of the Austrian forces. If this unit breaks here, I really don't see the Austrians coming out on top here. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. I think it's just too many French forces here left on the battlefield. There's 8 minutes left of the battle timer. Which this is not the battle replay timer. It's just like how much time they have to play, I assume. Like, because these are timed battles, so if the time runs out, it's whoever has the most points. But I don't think this is going to be a point victory. Hold on, look at Russia go. Look at them. They're like, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We may have lost everything, but we're annoying and we're breaking random French units. That's amazing. That's amazing. There we go. It'd be hilarious if Austria could turn this around and have an epic comeback. There we go. Nice little charge. Nice little charge. And then they're moving up some units here. And yeah, the Cav's gone in. And yeah, there's no way the Austrians can come out on top here. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward, guys. And we'll get to the end results. All right, guys, so here is the end results. Unfortunately, the little glitch where I can't see the results. I can see some of the kills. So this was sent in by Guy. So I think it actually is G, but I just like calling him Guy. Guy? Anyways, yeah, that's his army. That's his kills. Big thank you for the battle replay. This was awesome. I'll upload the... I'll edit in the actual results here so you can see them. So guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this battle. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. This was really cool. A fight for a little town, and it was just disastrous. A great play at the end there from the French. It was really fun to watch. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield.